Radha Radhanath, Radha Damodar, on this Purni night. You may have noticed the moon. It's Purni. It looks very beautiful. While I was driving here, I was looking at the moon. And in Vrindavan also, you'll see this moon reflecting on Govardhan Hill. It sets behind Govardhan Hill, it rises opposite to Govardhan Hill, and it shines on Govardhan Hill. Radha Kund. And tonight, last night of Kartik, many pilgrims will be going on pilgrimage, just like you also went on your pilgrimage. You came to Shri Radha Radhanath Temple. This is your pilgrimage. Instead of getting on the local rickshaw or bus and going to Govardhan, which is what at least 50,000 pilgrims do, you got in your Toyota and you drove to the Radha Radhanath Temple. But right now in Vrindavan, at least 50,000 people, 50,000 pilgrims will be walking around Govardhan Hill, and it will be very warm, a little like tonight. Tonight is quite warm. All the easels came out. But I don't see easels so much in Vrindavan. But it'll be very warm. And most of the pilgrims who'll be walking will be bridge buses, or persons living in the different villages in Braj or nearby Braj. They may not be bridge buses. Definition of bridge bussy, there's different definitions, but one is one who lives in Vrindavan. Of course, the real bridge buses is who? The Cowhead Boys, Mother Yasoda, Nanda Maharaj, and the Gopis. But on another level, we have bridge buses living in Vrindavan now. The Gundas, the rickshawwalas, they're also bridge buses, believe it or not, but of a different caliber, of a different kind. So walking around Govardhan Hill, you get mostly the locals. The Delhiwalas and all that, they do it more in the daytime. And they may have done it today. They may even do it tomorrow. But today, weekend, Saturday, so many persons would have come from Jaipur and Delhi and the different local cities and towns. So many bridge buses walking around, chanting Radhe Radhe, chanting the names of Krishna. Very wonderful. And it invokes a very unique type of atmosphere, the type of atmosphere that you can't really talk about. You have to experience. There's a sense of excitement as they're walking around Braj, as they're walking around Govardhan Hill. There's excitement. It's very unique. Some of them carrying their kids, having kirtan, playing harmonium, young boys. You know, like in Chatsworth, Phoenix, we get gangs of boys hanging around on the streets. So there you get gangs of boys going around Govardhan Hill. Very pious indeed. So this is the last day of Kartik, and the acharyas have said that by celebrating, by recognizing this month, you can make tremendous spiritual advancement. And the main Leela that we have spoken about many times is the Leela where Mother Yasoda catches Krishna. So Mother Yasoda is the number one devotee in Vatsalya Ras. There are different types of relationships with Krishna. There are 5. Shantadasya, Sakya, Vatsalya, Madhurya. And Vatsalya is second only to Madhurya Ras. And there are 9 great personalities listed in the order of importance by Rupa Goswami and Bhaktivinoda Thakur and Jaivedharma. So the first and most important person in Vatsalya Ras, this is motherly affection for Krishna, is Mother Yasoda. She's the number one devotee in motherly affection. In other words, she has the most motherly affection for Krishna. And her motherly affection, or Vatsalya means motherly, it is so great, it is so intense, that she even forgets that Krishna is God. Can you believe this? We're trying to remember that Krishna is God, isn't it? We're trying to remind ourselves all the time, Krishna is God. Mother Yasoda has gone beyond that. And she's forgetting Krishna is God. Different anubhavs of Vatsalya Ras. When I give you the list of the anubhavs of Vatsalya Ras, then you'll understand that Mother Yasoda has no conception that Krishna is God. The first anubhav of Vatsalya Ras is you smell Krishna's head. If you knew he was God, would you smell his head? I don't think you'd even dare to smell his head. You would bury your head in his lotus feet, which is Dasya Ras. Then the second anubhav is fondling, caressing his body, making sure that it's all there. So Mother Yasoda also does this. Kissing Krishna. Kissing him on the head, kissing his different limbs, just like the mother kisses the child. So Mother Yasoda is also doing this as anubhavs. These are all described by Rupa Goswami in Nectar Devotion. And then also another nice anubhav of Vatsalya Ras is correcting Krishna, telling him off, correcting him for his own good. Isn't it? The mother likes to do that, always correcting the son. So would you do that if you knew Krishna was God? Again, you wouldn't do it. Then another anubhav of Vatsalya Ras, calling out Krishna's name very loudly. Mother likes to do that. Call out the name of your son very loudly. These are all anubhavs of Vatsalya Ras. So Mother Yasoda is the prime example, and she tried to catch Krishna. We know that. And when she tried to capture Krishna, she tried to bind him with a rope. And the rope was 2 inches too short. And Srila Vishnu Chakravarti Thakur in the 10th canto has given an elaborate explanation describing that those 2 inches are 2 fingers. 2 fingers too short. She tried to extend the rope, and again it was 2 fingers too short. Again, her assistants and servants brought her more rope, and she tried to bind Krishna again, surprisingly enough, too short by 2 fingers. So what do these 2 fingers represent? I've explained this numerous times before, but it's very important. The 2 fingers these 2 fingers represent 2 things. One is your attempt, your own personal attempt to capture Krishna. Your practice of sadhana bhakti or bhava bhakti. And the other finger is Krishna's mercy or kripa. So let's talk about the first one. This is your attempt to capture Krishna within your heart. Mother Yasoda's attempt to capture Krishna. She was struggling very hard. It's described the beautiful flowers, jasmine flowers, mogra, they were falling out of her hair, her braids. She was sweating because she was trying so hard. She was perspiring. In other words, she was attempting to the best of her ability to capture Krishna. But she couldn't. But she was trying. So this is sadhana bhakti. We're trying to capture Krishna in our heart. We rise early every morning. Before the sun rises is best. And after washing our face or taking bath, we start chanting Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama. This is our attempt to capture Krishna. This is called our bhajan. We try to chant, meditating, hearing that sound vibration of Krishna's name, using the lower mouth, the lower lip, the upper lip, the tongue, chanting nicely, loudly. When we chant loudly, the mind is focused. When you chant very quietly, you tend to go asleep. Of course, you can chant quietly. It's called upamsik or manasik. But in the neophyte stage, Prabhupada has recommended in Chaitanya Charitamrita that chanting involves the use of the upper lip, the lower lip, and the tongue. And especially when your mind begins to wander and think about your husband and children and housework and your job and your studies and politics and the weather and so many other things. To chant out aloud, it helps grab the mind. Chancham himana Krishna, because the mind is chanchal and very flickering. So we chant nice clear rounds, pronouncing each word very clearly. Hari, Krishna, Ram. And we make a conscious effort to avoid the 10 offenses. We have to know what are the 10 offenses. You have to know what are the 10 offenses. And then you try to avoid them. You can't avoid something you don't know about. So know what are the 10 offenses. Avoid them. Chant nicely. This is how you begin your day. Even if you have to go to work very early, then get up earlier. Try to do some of the preparations the night before for the following day, especially in those early morning hours. Chant Krishna's name nicely. 1 round, 2 rounds, 3 rounds, 4 rounds takes half an hour more or less. 8 rounds. If you can do 16 rounds, that means your prescribed number of rounds in one shot, all at one time. You get tremendous spiritual strength. And you can chant, of course, more than 16 rounds. No one is stopping you. Prabhupada said, what's 16 rounds? 16,000 rounds. We can continue to chant. So this is the basic practice of our sadhana. The basic practice of our sadhana bhakti is to chant the Lord's holy name. Other secondary things are to follow the principles. Very important. Follow the principles, read from Srila Prabhupada's books, associate with devotees. 5 main things. Chant Krishna's name, do some puja, read scriptures, which means Srila Prabhupada's books, associate with the devotees, visit the temple, visit Vrindavan, Mathura, Vasi, visit holy place. So this is our practice of sadhana. And the more energy, the more enthusiasm, utsanishta dayat, the more enthusiasm you put into this, the more you'll get back. But sadhana is not enough to capture Krishna. Prabhupada writes in Bhagavatam, Anatam upasanam sakshat, in that verse, Bhakti Yoga, that chanting the Lord's holy name, the love of God, does not depend solely and wholly simply on chanting the Lord's holy name or the practice of sadhana bhakti. It depends on mercy. So that other element also has to be there called mercy. So I was telling you there were 2 fingers. So one finger is our practice of sadhana bhakti. And the other is the mercy that will come from Lord Krishna, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. When he sees that you are practicing, when he sees that you are sincere, he will give you mercy and you will advance. But our method of advancement is actually dependent on mercy. Sevanmukhihi jivadu. By engaging the tongue and chanting the Lord's holy name, by pleasing him, then he gradually reveals himself. The basic idea is that Krishna reveals himself to you when he's pleased with you. How do you please him? By chanting Krishna's name. So these 2 fingers, these 2 principles, we have to try our hardest, and we also asabandhana. We have to pray or hope for the mercy of the Lord. One is called the monkey philosophy, and one is called the cat philosophy. Trying very hard in our practice of sadhana is the monkey philosophy. You see this in Vrindavan. The monkey is running along, and the baby monkey is grabbed hold of the stomach or the back. So the baby monkey is holding on by its own strength. So that's monkey philosophy. We're trying our hardest. Sadhana bhakti. And that ultimately will come to bhava bhakti. And then that will come to prema bhakti. And then cat philosophy is the kitten is picked up by the cat. And the kitten doesn't do anything, but is protected by that mother cat, the mother around. So that's mercy. We don't do anything, and yet suddenly we make advancement. But if we only practice, Prabhupada gave another example. That is like thinking, I'm going to get a degree from the University of Natal, but I'm not going to do any work. I'll just wait till I get an honorary degree. I know it will come. I will get an honorary PhD, and I can call myself Dr. Bogey Yogi. Now, will I get an honorary degree? I will not. It's rare. So, cat philosophy is we simply wait and wait and wait for that mercy to come. But we can wait our whole lives. We have to also make an attempt. Now that's the monkey philosophy. That's the practice of sadhana bhakti. So that's what we're all doing. This is why many of you came every night for the month of Kartik. Not just here, but also in Phoenix. Every night, 100 to 200 devotees were coming and offering the lamp. Very wonderful. This is very nice. Compared to 10 years ago, we never got such a response as this on the last night of Kartik. So this means you're all trying. Coming up shortly in December is the December Marathon. And again, another chance, another opportunity to practice devotional service by preaching. Preaching, Shravanam, Kirtanam. It's also an aspect of devotional service. So we can take this opportunity and try to distribute some of Prabhupada's books. So the emphasis is on you to do it. For you to take Prabhupada's books, for you to go door to door, for you to try to basically beg these people, conditioned souls, to take some book. You're putting yourself in a difficult situation. So this is practice of sadhana bhakti. And this will invoke the mercy of the Lord. But you have to practice to get that mercy of the Lord. But practice alone doesn't mean you automatically get the mercy of the Lord. I'll give you an example. Let's say you're thirsty. You're very thirsty, and I have water. Now, if you don't come to me, which is the practice of sadhana, then I won't know that you need the water or want it. You have to come to me, and with folded hands, please, can you give me the water? And then I will give it to you. But if you don't even come to me, why should I be inclined to give it to you? So the coming and asking for that water is the practice of sadhana bhakti. You're coming forward, you're trying your hardest. First step in sadhana bhakti is Guru Padashraya. Take shelter of Guru. So for us it means taking shelter of Srila Prabhupada. Fully, completely, not partially. Adyantaki. Adyantaki means fully, totally. Purna means completely. Beyond Purna is the word Adyantaki. It means even more than Purna. And Purna means complete. Om Purnamada Purnamidam. Adyantaki means fully, fully, fully. Take shelter, Guru Padashraya, of Srila Prabhupada, of his mission, of his institution, of his books, of his instructions. This is the first step in sadhana bhakti. So eventually, if we carry on practicing faithfully, we may also come to the same level as Mother Yasoda. It may take some lifetimes. Mother Yasoda is the first example of Vatsalya Ras. And who is the second one? Think carefully. Who would be the second example Rupa Goswami gives of the most important examples of Vatsalya Ras? Yes? Vatsalya Ras. First Mother Yasoda. Nanda Maharaj. Rupa Goswami describes Nanda Maharaj, he wears greenish clothes, greenish cloth. He has a moustache. He's a little fatty. Isn't that nice to know, men? That means we have permission to be a little fatty, but not Mother Yasoda. Mother Yasoda is not described as fatty. But the men, there's permission there. I'm following in the footsteps of Nanda Maharaj, by the way. He's around 50. He has a moustache. He has a complexion like the moon. Just like you see the moon in the sky. A little fatty, that word is described. Greenish garments. So he's number 2. So you meditate on Nanda Maharaj, you meditate on Mother Yasoda. Mother Yasoda's complexion is actually bluish, believe it or not. Although you see in the ISKCON pictures, Mother Yasoda being golden, that's so as not to cause confusion. Because people will think, is the 2 gods? Because they generally understand Krishna as God as being bluish. So when there's 2 people being blue, they get confused. But many of the cowherd boys are also bluish. But Mother Yasoda is bluish, no different to Krishna. And she has, her hair is decorated with beautiful flowers. She wears silk and linen garments, bangles. So, first Mother Yasoda, then Nanda Maharaj. The third one is Mother Rohini. She's the third personality in Vatsalya Ras. Then it goes the other gopis in Vrindavan. There are millions and billions and trillions of elderly gopis in Vrindavan who all think of Krishna as their darling son. Not just 10 or 20 or a couple hundred. Unlimited trillions of living entities are in that relationship. So that's the fourth one. The other gopis in Vrindavan. And the fifth one is Devaki. Devaki has a little bit of reverence for Krishna. That's why in the prison cell, Devaki was offering prayers. And then comes the other wives of Vasudeva. Vasudeva had 16 wives. So the other 15 wives of Vasudeva. And then comes Kunti. Queen Kunti, the great stalwart auntie of Krishna. The mother of the 5 Pandavas. Queen Kunti. Then comes Vasudeva. And then comes Sandapani Muni. These are the great devotees in Vatsalya Ras. So during this month, we have been worshipping particularly Mother Yasoda, because her affection for Krishna is so intense. Anugrahaya. Anugrahaya is the main component of Vatsalya Ras. And it means protective compassion and mercy. And it flows from the senior to the junior. So Mother Yasoda thinks she's senior. Another anubhav of Vatsalya Ras is you give Krishna blessings. Now you have to think that Krishna is your junior to give him blessings. Do you give your Guru blessings? Do you give your Guru Maharaj blessings? If you're a pure devotee, you do. Do you give Krishna blessings? It's generally not. It's around the other way, isn't it? We ask Krishna for blessings, Asubad. But one of the anubhavs is Mother Yasoda gives Krishna blessings. So this is due to Yoga Maya. There's wonderful potency called Yoga Maya. Yoga Maya makes all these pastimes in Krishna work. It makes the cowherd boys think Krishna's my friend. I'm going to have a fight with him. Yoga Maya allows the cowherd boys to sometimes beat Krishna. Sri Dharma has a fight with Krishna. He beats Krishna in a fight. Sometimes they have stick fights. Sometimes they play leapfrog, guli danda, stuck in the mud, and other things. Cops and robbers. They imitate the frogs. They imitate the birds and pretend that they're flying around. So this Yoga Maya potency, Yoga Maya is called the Leela Shakti potency of the Lord. Leela Shakti. Shakti means energy, Leela means pastimes. So Krishna performs these wonderful pastimes in the purview of this material world, as he did 5,000 years ago for our benefit. For our benefit, the Lord performs these wonderful pastimes so that hundreds and thousands of years later, we can discuss these pastimes, we can hear about these pastimes and smaranam. We can remember these pastimes. And in that way we become liberated. Janma kama chame divyam. Anyone who understands my pastimes, even partially, gets liberated from the cycle of birth and death. So, Shri Shri Radha Radhanath ki jai, Shri Shri Nitai Gaura Hari ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. So those people who have not offered the lamps yet, please come forward, and then we'll sing the last kirtan to the Lord. Thank you very much. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.